start. I can wait for the last speaker, but in the meantime, while we're waiting for KNAW, we can start. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to session 1 of this conference. The title, as you know, of this session is Measuring and Analyzing Science and Technology Capacities in Southeast Asia. The purpose, the objective of this session is really to look at results of the program, of the project to date, and also to look at the analysis of science and technology capacities in this Southeast Asian region, and look at the relationship on science and technology issues between the European Union countries and Southeast Asia. And we have with us, we have the pleasure of having 5 very eminent presentations by 6 speakers. One of the presentations is going to be a joint presentation between Jack, Spapen and Rudy. We will be beginning with that. Before we start, may I just introduce myself and the speakers very quickly. My name is Dawood Ghaznavi. I am currently Professor of Management at the Lahore University of Management Sciences. Prior to that, I have been the Chief Executive Officer of the Environment Operations Center in Bangkok, working in the GMS region. Our first speakers are going to be Dr. Jack Spapen and Dr. Rudy Trains-Royal, who are sitting to my right. They're going to be talking about the opportunities and pitfalls in Southeast Asia-EU cooperation, basically looking at a SWOT analysis that has been carried out on the regional S&T programs, and they will be presenting the methods used and the results of this study. We will have 20 minutes of this first presentation, to be followed by the second one for another 20 minutes, which is on Indicators Report on Science and Technology in SEA for Policymakers, which will be done by our colleague from Thailand, Dr. Punari, who is the president of Noviscape Consulting Group based in Thailand. The third presentation is going to be shedding a spotlight on excellent researchers and institutions from Southeast Asia for EU cooperation. This presentation is going to be given by Florian, who is sitting on my left. He is working at the Center for Social Innovation in Austria. The fourth presentation is going to be by Dr. Gernot Hutchenreiter, who is sitting somewhere in the audience, I believe, and will soon be joining us. He's coming in just now. He is from the OECD, and he will be presenting the first results from a regional review of innovation policies in Southeast Asia. Another very interesting presentation on innovation processes in Southeast Asia. May I invite Dr. Gernot to also come and join us on the podium. The fifth 20-minute presentation and final one is going to be presented by Dr. Peter Hadabi from the AIT, Asian Institute of Technology in Thailand. He is the Vice President for Academic Affairs and Professor of Computer Science and Information Management. He will be talking about research strength of ASEAN in priority areas with an analysis and policy implications of the results of this research. These 5 presentations should take us to about 12 o'clock, and I hope that each of the presentations will be no more than, say, 10 or 15 minutes. And unfortunately, we will only have a very short time per presentation for a question and answer session. So I hope that the presenters are aware of the time limitations. And of course, I also look forward to questions which are very brief and succinct and to the point from our participants. So if we do have a need, we may be able to sort of stretch the time to open 12:30. I've talked to the organizers, and it may be possible to go on to 12:30, but I'm not keeping that half hour as an open-ended sort of time available. if need be, we will be able to stretch. But let's try to keep each presentation between 10 and 15 minutes and have quick, short Q questions to be answered in as short a form as possible. Without any further ado, may I invite Jack to start the presentation process.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It feels a bit strange to be the first speaker of the first session on a conference about climate change and not talk about climate change. But that's how it is, and I thought that maybe I'm going to talk about climate change, but this is a climate change that we want. It's a change of climate for research cooperation between Southeast Asia and Europe. What we have done in the past half year is something that we call a SWOT analysis, but actually it's not a SWOT analysis. I'm going to present this together with Rudy, who's here sitting here next to me, and somewhere in the room over there is a third person, Jacco van den Heuvel, who also participated in our research, and he will be hosting the poster presentation later today about this project. I will talk shortly about the methodology that we used and why we did a SWOT analysis, which is actually not a SWOT analysis. I'm not sure if everybody is familiar with what a SWOT analysis is, and so I will very shortly say a few words about that. SWOT is an acronym for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And I think this method was originally invented in the business world, but it's used more and more now also in universities and science and technology.